Now DD spotted for DF. Massive hit from Delaware on just Hasuni. Chungwoo just giving himself up. Just a fantastic job from SoA. And Trailer trying to go in for the ram, probably. That's what I would do. Let's get the damage. Oh, he does get the kill! Oh, that is massive. I didn't think he would. But now it's going to be a 3v1 situation. Main's going to take some shots. And he does get a nice hit on him. But he's still winning the fight against Illusion. But if that cruiser comes around, he might be in trouble, and he is. Penguin with the amazing kill, saving that Lucian. That cruiser should have pushed up, or Sario waited for him a little bit. But he's gonna get some shots in between there, and he does connect. Great shot from Karjala. Control for SNA, even though they lost a DD, they're up by 40 points. And here's torpedoes from the right. That overextension. That Hayate works? Oh, yup. Ouch. Great torps from Hayate. I think those were for Chungwoo too. These broadsides for that Samuni on the right. And Small taking out the Temeraire. But this cruiser is about to go down. Hopefully we can help kill them. Guns fast enough. Lucian missed the torps.
Oh, there goes the secondary. Destroyed one of these torpedo tubes. Come on.
Oh, come on, secondary.
Get to manages to get you a hit on the alpha.
Oh, as I say that.
Painkillers! Holy crap, dude!
Wow.
Holy crap!
Without having the advantage of destroyers, and they still pull this off. This is unbelievable.
A Delaware, dude. And a Delaware. They
Yep.
can't forget that. They did it without a Delaware.
Unbelievable.
Amazing gameplay from Painkillers. Holy crap.
To go live here. Um, we've got hey, we are joined again by Angel Rambo. Uh, we we've got a pretty awesome game going on here. This is our semifinals. It is the EU finals. I know that's a little confusing. um, but Sons of Adler versus WASA. Sons of Adler, kind of a dark horse. Yeah, we are starting, so we gotta switch over. Let me make sure my stuff is all correct. Errands. It's up to you, honestly. I gotta do some quick editing of my stream. Uh, I wish OBS was better about like saving your some of these settings because I have to like redo all this stuff. Sometimes it's really irritating. All right.
Geschichtsstations. Engine boost activated.
Bear with us here. Thankfully, add window capture. That's what I want. Add existing. I know this is a touch confusing, but okay. Nothing ever happens in the first few minutes, thankfully, which means we have a few seconds to make sure our. Yeah. I mean, I've got both. I've got both going right now. Both Sons of Adler and WASA. So let me just.
We've been spotted.
This ought to be a good one. So interestingly, I'm seeing Sons of Adler have opted to go for a 2 destroyer setup here, bringing the extra firepower. Gillis is in the small end, taking some damage, trying to get out of that radar range. The Duncan of Cranky is looking like he's probably going to try and hit that Tulsa. Oh no, he doesn't fire with Tulsa. Tulsa's an interesting pick. It did recently get a buff. It's a good ship, don't get me wrong, but the problem with Tulsa is that why take Tulsa when you have Salem? You know what I mean? Although I suppose you know, maybe Train Leader doesn't have Salem, and that's why he's taking the Tulsa. Which in that case, it makes a lot of sense why he's taking the Tulsa. It is a good ship, and it did recently get a buff. But I find it very interesting that Sons of Adler have opted to go for the 3 battleships, 3 cruisers, and only 2 destroyers on this one. You can see that on the B cap, they've opted to put their 3rd cruiser there instead of the in place of the destroyer. So it makes sense, you know, that B cap. There's a lot of cover.
Yep.
So I don't mind the decision to put the extra cruiser there. Hard to say. Obviously, they've made their decision, and we'll see how it plays out.
Torpedoes to port.
No one doing anything crazy yet. CCAP looks like it's going to be flipped in favor of Sons of Adler. Warfare at Sea a little bit hesitant to really push too hard right at the start here, which, again, you know, I like that restraint from WASA. It makes a lot of sense. Petro trying to get something.
We got Cranky getting all the way around Charlie. SoA with the cap on Charlie. So we'll see if this flank's going to help out with Duncan. Duncan is really fast and agile, but it just does not have that armor to go against Minnesota like that. So we'll see what he does.
No, the thing about Duncan, however, it's kind of sneaky in that it can brawl, right? So, because it has those crazy 30k torpedoes on the front, and the guns are quite good, but it can only ever brawl once in a game.
Right.
So,
and
I do kind of like the maneuver from Cranky, putting a lot of pressure on Train Leader. As you said, the Minnesota right there is an issue for Cranky, especially with how low HP he is. The Duncan.
Ooh, down goes Blitz.
Oh,
Feel my flame, getting the kill on him. Nice job.
Temeraire goes down first. Another interesting pick here, the Temeraire. It is a good ship, but not necessarily a meta one.
Now the A flank is going to be weak for SoA. Small and weak in the middle here, or Charlie.
Yeah, losing the battleship isn't the worst thing in the world, though. And they've got the CCAP. A small advantage to WASA in one way, but also small advantage to Sons of Adler. So, yeah, I hesitate to say that this is really a win for either team at the moment.
Both battleships stacking
Train
up at
Leader's
Charlie
under
now.
a lot of pressure from this Duncan. You can see he's trying to stay, keep his guns quiet so that he's not getting spotted.
Ooh,
and
massive
down by this
hit.
Duncan. I don't think this engagement is going as well as Cranky wanted it to. The Duncan did recently get a nerf to its heals, so it doesn't heal as much as it used to. And while the heals are still quite good, they're a lot less effective in healing things like Citadel damage now.
Now he's going to be broadside to Minnesota with this turn. Double fires on him from Tulsa.
Yeah, this could be the end of Cranky, and a chance for Sons of Adler to even up the ship count here is a big win for them.
Ricky Stream's a little laggy.
Lucian under fire on the A cap. He's been dipping in and out, you know, playing that game with Aaron over here. Aaron, however you want to pronounce his name.
Brandon's gonna kill Cranky here in a second. There it is.
Yeah, that was. I understand the thought process behind what. Oh, and look, Gillis is super low too.
Yep.
The small one going down, that hurt. Losing Cranky wasn't the worst. It wasn't good, but losing Gillis in addition to that, now C-Cap, that entire flank is completely wrapped up for Sons of Adler. They can bring the Tulsa, as you see, to deal with J-Train and Donskoy. They should wrap up B flank. I mean, this is a real problem for WASA.
Now, for WASA to counter this Charlie breakthrough, they need to handle Alpha quickly and then move across to Bravo and then make their stand there. It's going to be the only chance that they have. And then down goes Feel My Flame. The dominoes are falling now for Warfare at Sea. SoA taking advantage of their retreat here and the repositioning. They're going to be down in that corner of this map here between Alpha and Bravo. We'll see if if SoA is going to be able to capitalize on these crossfires.
Train Leader has played this position perfectly in his Tulsa. Very, very strong play from him. You know, making sure he's not taking too much damage, opening up when he needs to. His radars have come in very clutch in taking out Gillis in the small end. This has been... honestly, I mean, they've countered what WASA has been doing to a T on this map so far. Yeah, they lost the early battleship, but they responded very quickly with 3 kills of their own.
Yep. 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in round number 1. Map is trapped. Warfare at Sea versus SoA.
Yeah, and I know the point swing is pretty bad right now, but you also have to think about Sons of Adler has been controlling C-Cap pretty much since the start. So not only are they up in ship count, but they're also up in background scoring by quite a bit at this point. And with 4 minutes left in the game, WASA has to like send it, honestly. And it doesn't look like they're even trying to. I'm not sure what's going on with WASA here. May lose the Lucian, but Petro is in a pretty exposed position, so that at the worst for Sons of Adler, that's going to be a trade.
And we've seen Petro pushing in. There goes Aaron. You know, we've seen it before where a Petro would push into a cap and it just doesn't have them the ability to get out of battle. Like, once you're in it, you're in it.
Yeah, and with even though Petro is so good at tanking damage, it's really only good at tanking damage when you're bow tanking, because that ship is quite exposed on its flanks, you know.
And back to
can be difficult
Train Leader.
Citadel, but
Train Leader being good with Tulsa, I want to say that his trigger discipline has been outstanding, and down goes Tobinator.
Absolutely.
But like, he'll know when to shoot and then when to go unspotted. With Delaware coming in, he knows Habib is incredible with that ship, and he does not want to be caught with those planes. So now he's just kind of keeping him spotted a little bit long enough for those torpedo bombers from the Delaware that just went down to help out.
Second battleship from Sons of Adler does go down, but this is going to be too little too late at this point. I really don't see a way for WASA to really come back from this.
And here comes the torpedo bombers for Tulsa. Hopefully he sees them.
Yeah, they would need to kill, like, WASA would need to get like 3 kills in the next 2 minutes at least. Missing with the torpedo bombers does not help that endeavor.
Yep.
Dmitry Donskoy is going to go down here.
Great job from Tulsa. A-Trank with a second kill. And we've seen this
I
train
have
leader.
to say, I'm very surprised at the Brindisi on the B-cap. Normally, in a Brindisi, that's a ship that does super well in open water.
Open water, yep.
And that's what you want it to be in. But he has done such an excellent job of just stopping that B-cap. And honestly, just the fact that he exists there has been such a huge deterrent for WASA. I don't think he's really needed to fire his guns at all, and that's fine. You know, you don't need that Brindisi to do damage. You just need him to stop WASA from taking the B-cap.
Yeah, I think he was very good with that for sure. Sitting right outside, alongside that island, Delaware can't hit him with torpedoes from that angle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
I think that's the second player train leader has bumped. So
yeah.
His maneuvering maybe needs a tiny bit of work, but his trigger discipline has been excellent.
Yeah. Now they're gonna switch spots. I think Habib was trying to get Tulsa out in the open.
I mean,
he's gonna find himself.
Even at this point, there's no way for WASA to win this game.
No. Ooh, massive hit.
Yeah. Wow.
10 seconds left.
Wow. I mean that.
Uh-oh. Phenomenal job from SoA.
Game was. Sons of Adler did their homework and countered WASA perfectly.
Now, Warfare at Sea right now is basically at full strength. And for them to have lost this battle that definitively, I'm curious to see how they come back from that, because I don't think I've seen them come back from a game like that before. Did I just lose this guy, train leader's stream?
It seems like I did too.
Okay.
Maybe. No, I think when it goes black like that, he's just like on a different screen.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. We'll
all right.
Leave it for a second. We should be on Land of Fire, I believe. Next.
Yeah. They haven't switched the map quite yet, but yeah, that first game was SoA all the way for sure. Decisive. They lost that first battleship, but not even like you were saying. They didn't even let that battleship that died in the beginning there kind of deter their strategy. They stayed on course. Everybody focused on their flanks, and A flank being down that battleship, they were able to hold it with a cruiser and a destroyer. That's really impressive for them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think that push from Cranky on the wide push on C, while I understand why it was done, and I think it could have had some effect, I think the biggest problem with it was that he didn't have any support. Had Gillis or a cruiser like J-Trank gone around with him to give more fire support and more pressure onto the Minnesota and the Tulsa, that engagement could have gone a lot differently.
Another factor was the fact that he was spotted before he went out there, so they knew where he was going. And I think train leader was already prepared. If he wasn't, and he got blindsided from that left side, Duncan, even with that blindside shot, would have done enough damage to basically cripple train leader's ability to do a whole lot at Charlie other than hide behind the island. But he was able to move before them.
Is so important for sure.
And they stick with Duncan on this one. Delaware for both teams. Lepanto. Temeraire for SoA.
Yeah, Sons of Adler have swapped out their third battleship for a third destroyer here, which I think makes a lot more sense on Land of Fire. Yeah, I had never really considered doing something like that, you know, on the Atlantic. But it does, or Trap was it? Yeah,
Trap,
Trap.
yep,
It
yep.
was Trap. I don't know why I was thinking the Atlantic. I even had it written down on my stream. um, oh yeah, we're on like an entirely new set of
Maps.
maps here for
Mhm.
the semifinal. So it's Haven. I completely forgot about that. My bad.
Haven was interesting to
Um,
watch yesterday.
yeah, and I think we are gonna see the new map, Mountain Range,
Mountain
which
Range,
I'm
yep.
very excited about. I would love to see how these teams approach a brand new map like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron spawning in the middle.
Haven is an interesting one. The large amount of islands can be very useful for Delawares, and the Delaware can have a pretty good impact on this map. But it also, depending on where it spawns, can be rendered somewhat useless. So it's a little bit of a gamble to bring the Delaware. Both teams have opted to make that gamble, which I don't mind at all. One of the most interesting things I find about this map is that it kind of has almost a cyclical meta, I guess, is the best way to put it. It's a lot easier for the east side to push around south, and it's a lot easier for the west side to push around north.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get this sort of, you know, push and pull of one side's pushing the top and one side's pushing the bottom, and you just kind of have to wait and see which side, you know, sometimes it's about which side defends better, and sometimes it's about which side attacks better. Well, I think one of the most interesting things that has happened is that sort of like cyclical push-pull meta has been going on in standard matches for essentially since the game has started. But in this particular tournament, it's been very rare that anyone's attempted any sort of seaside push, which I find a little bit odd.
Yeah, it looks like Warfare is trying to get this map control early on, and they're doing a pretty good job right now of keeping SoA away from the caps, but now SoA is going into, trying to get into Bravo. I think I'd rather have the south side spawn, but it also depends on like what your strategy is.
The Donskoy of Kaiser's is very low HP. And
great
he's going to be
shot.
spotted by that destroyer up north of C.
I think Kaiser might go down with a salvo, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. You know, this is exactly what I was saying. The push side for for WASA's spawn, the push side is the C side.
Yeah. And also, like you were saying in the last match where Cranky didn't have support, now he does. DD in front of him, kind of keeping everybody spotted. And here comes Delaware Torpedoes and getting Kaiser off the board. Great job from Habib. That's
a
huge,
far
man.
More impactful kill than the battleship, because you're getting a radar cruiser off the board there, and and you're impacting an already weak side to be even weaker. This could be the opening that WASA needs to take control of this map and hit back. You know,
no radar on that side. If I remember correctly, I think it's Gillis in front of Cranky. Regardless, it's a DD now that doesn't have any radar to contest them. So, Warfare at Sea grabbing Charlie with ease. And we'll see if Delaware is going to be able to respond. Don Rico knows that Cranky's over here. He is spotted. And here's the DD Z44. Cranky with the shot. It connects. Massive connect. And you're smiling with the radar. Warfare at Sea looking unstoppable right now on this right flank.
Yeah, but in the meantime,
Yep, the other side.
Train Leader is trying to make something happen on the B side flank too. That he may have overextended here. He almost had something, but I think he's gonna go down to these torpedoes. Okay, he manages. Oh, there it is.
Nope, there it is. Yep. Aaron with the kill on Train Leader. Fantastic job cleaning that up. And it looks like SoA might have been a little too aggressive early on, but either way, Warfare at Sea had an amazing plan for this match. They were not going to go down without a fight, and they're coming back here with a vengeance.
To be totally honest with you, I actually would say that Sons of Adler weren't aggressive enough. The positioning of their battleship back here was far too far back to give the support to that Saint Louis. Had Saint Louis had the extra guns of the I believe it's the Temeraire that's there.
Yeah.
But
do you think too that he might have been overly aggressive, waiting for the battleship to get into position, or do you think it was just a positional thing that they just had him back there on purpose? And DD just gets smacked at Bravo from SoA, and down goes Regos. Unreal.
Ooh, yeah, this game is looking very one-sided. WASA's gone. Okay, well you can dish it out, but can you take it?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just like that, the game is practically over.
Absolutely. 8 minutes left almost, and Warfare is going to be taking 3 caps to 1, up by almost 400 points. They haven't lost a single ship.
I mean, the keys to that one, yeah, the seaside push was very successful.
Yeah.
But with how the map plays out in general, you kind of have to expect that one anyways.
Yeah. I think Donskoy overextended just a little bit past that island just to get some spots, I think. But if that, but also, I don't know what their plan was, so I can't really judge what their, strategy, like whether or not it was a good strategy or not, other than
It's
the fact
hard
that
to
the
say.
effect is the way it is.
Maybe putting the Delaware on, that's currently on the ACAP, maybe putting the Delaware out wider on C could have helped prevent that push.
Yeah.
Maybe just ignoring the C cap with your destroyer and putting the destroyer out there to slow down the push could have helped. It's hard to say. I think the bigger mistake that Sons of Adler made here was not committing fully to a B-side push and leaving their battleship, the Temeraire, way back behind the B cap.
Yeah.
And leaving the Saint Louis basically out by himself. Train Leader almost made something happen. He really did. But there's only so much you can do when you've got 4 people shooting at you.
Yeah. Toto might go down with this next salvo from the battleship at A for SoA. Wonder if he can shoot over that island. Oh, massive hit from Duncan.
Oof. Yep. I do love the Duncan. It's such a great ship, and it's such a fun ship too. It's got that short fuse AP, so it, when you're shooting battleships especially, it can feel somewhat anemic sometimes.
Oh, and J-Train goes down?
But the short fuse AP is actually really, really effective when you're shooting cruisers like that. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a bloodless loss from um,
Are on full alert.
for Sons of Adler.
Cranky's position here is actually protecting his destroyer that's in the middle, because Petro could reverse back and then take out that DD very easily with one shot. But because he's here, he's keeping that cruiser hiding from getting shot at again. It's a great position, great flank from Cranky, and down goes Don Rico. Game's just about over. Warfare at Sea coming back, game 2. The back and forth, and we knew it was going to be like this, so it's going to be exciting for everybody.
Do we know what this next map is? Let me see here. Let me see if I can.
I think it's
find that
Mountain Range.
information. It might be. I hope it is. I've been very excited to watch Mountain Range.
Yeah, I think Mountain Range is game 3.
Yeah. Yes, Mountain Range is game 3, and Shards, we will definitely see Shards as game 4. We might see Crash Zone, which would be game 5. So yeah, we've got Mountain Range up on the slate next.
Great job from Warfare cleaning that up. Coming back.
And I think this one is going to potentially be our most interesting, because this has never been played in comp before. So nobody knows what to do here. You know, obviously you have some ideas of but your basic game theory still applies. You know, these should be good positions. You can play it in standard a bunch and get some decent ideas. But standard does not translate directly. It just doesn't. And you can get some building blocks there of, these are my good positions, these are my bad positions, but there's a very real chance that one of these teams, or both of them, will think they have a good plan, and then they find out in practice that, oh, that position is wildly exposed
Right.
to, you know, this other position. And so I think this match is going to be potentially our most interesting.
I agree. I mean, this is going to be brand new, like you were saying. And yesterday we saw Painkillers, the struggles that they had with the spawns that they were given. You know, one spawn had, you know, they had to go against 3 ships and they only had the 2. So, and a lot of it probably had to do with the fact that the rotations of hull crushers was that they stacked one side, and then they kind of left the middle with 1 or 2 ships just to kind of have a defense there, but they made sure that they engulfed them with the flanks. And I think on this map, the flanks are a lot more important than controlling the middle.
Oh, for sure. Mountain Range is a super interesting map.
Yeah, it's
there's
wide
kind
as
of a
hell.
natural divide right down the middle of the B cap, and because of the way the spawns work, both teams will automatically have a heavier presence on the east side of the map.
Right.
And there's kind of this weird open area between A and B caps where it's just hard for certain ships to exist. And it lends itself, like you were saying, to the, especially on that A side, you have to play the close side, you know, close into the cap and on those islands, and really play the flank on the A side.
Right.
The BC side gives a lot more potential to do different things. You know, controlling, obviously, again, like you said, controlling the C side flank is quite important. But I'm very interested to see how these teams approach that awkward middle space between A and B side. You know, are we going to see some overloading on the C? Are we going to see some overloading on the A potentially? As we can see from both sides, we've got a battleship and a destroyer from both teams on A side. Both teams have a similar ship lineup. 3 destroyers, 2 cruisers, 3 battleships. And which I'm not sure I agree with entirely.
Yeah, I'd rather have a third cruiser.
Yeah, there's plenty of island cover on this map.
Yeah.
Practically no matter where you spawn, and the extra DPM from a cruiser, I think, would go over really well here.
I think what they're hoping for, though, with the 3 is that you get a little bit better crossfire across the entire map. But if you have the 2, like you're saying, like, 'cause I totally agree with you. But if you have the 2 kind of, stacked to one side, you can kind of guarantee a good crossfire at least on one side of the map, and hopefully like stack it so that you win that flank and then push across. But that's a kind of a tall task, because a lot of it has to do with RNG at that point. Or the other teams, excuse me, making a mistake where you catch a cruiser broadside. But once they get to these islands on this side, I just feel like it's much better to have a cruiser shooting over islands, or at least having the radar capabilities. Aaron's in a pretty decent spot right now to cover Charlie.
I find this really interesting. Looking at both minimaps, the deployment for both teams has essentially been mirrored.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Almost exactly, too. Look at the cruiser DD combination at Bravo for both teams, right on the same side of Bravo. And then the battleships as well.
There's some very, very minor differences on C, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's identical. Lucian is gonna start taking some damage here. Now this is the one advantage that Tulsa has over Salem, is that the Tulsa has the 9-kilometer radar, whereas Salem only has an 8.5. So Train Leader is able to get a decent amount more value out of that longer range radar, and puts the herd on the Lucian on the B cap.
The one thing Train Leader doesn't have on this side is smoke, with that small in there, but Donskoy is kind of out in the open, whereas Train Leader does have cover.
Yeah.
J-Train getting a fire on Train Leader there.
I mean, it's not full cover as you can see, but Train Leader actually has the option to back off if he needs to.
Yeah. Oh, here comes Cross Torps. Smallin needs to get out of there quickly. Can he avoid a torp? Oh, he takes one. Looks like those are Smallin torpedoes.
And a hit on the Tulsa as well. And that's a perma flood and a fire. This could be bad for Train Leader.
Great job not backing up all the way, but he is suffering from a flood and a fire. Great cross torp from the DD at Alpha for Warfare at Sea. He's gonna pop that heal.
Yeah, this potentially could be what Warfare at Sea need here. Train Leader is in a pretty dire situation. He's done a great job of surviving the engagement, and he still does have one heal left after this one's done. So, he needs to take his time and just sit back and play very defensively here.
I like the position from Warfare at Sea right now. It's a very linear positioning system that they got going on between all the caps. Cover as much ground as possible.
I mean, you've got a really similar look from Sons of Adler too. The one exception being the battleship position between B and C island is maybe not 100% ideal there.
Sons of Adler are also a little closer to the caps, whereas they got a Donskoy for Warfare that's a little farther out.
Yeah, Train Leader takes another torpedo, he pops his radar. Lucian is going to be up. but I'm not sure that Train Leader is going to survive this engagement, especially with the Lucian opening up. Yeah,
that
Lucian
AP is just
deadly.
Oh man, is he gonna get his heal in time?
Oh, just barely.
Oh, Donskoy cleaning that up. Great job from Warfare capitalizing.
That was the crack that WASA needs, I think, here. Now the small end of Sons of Adler is on his own versus a Lucian and a Donskoy.
He might be able to get the cap here at Bravo though before Lucian backs in. We'll see.
Yeah,
but Sons of Adler has to take one of the flanks.
Well, they actually just took the C cap. So while WASA is still contesting it, the pressure is on WASA to take this now. That they Sons of Adler can ease up a tiny bit with their destroyer. And flipping that cap makes a big difference. It really does.
Jackal needs to be careful. You got 3 ships shooting at him. I think Warfare right now got A and B pretty much locked in.
The one thing I don't like from Sons of Adler here, I'm not seeing really any sort of aggression on the C cap, which I think they really need to make use of that island chain out wide and really put pressure on the Petropavlovsk of Aaron. And they're just opting to kind of sit there, which I think is a mistake.
Yeah, the Warfare at CDD Toto at Charlie's in a really good spot by the island to take cover from anybody that's trying to get him. So I think he's doing a good job of just contesting, not allowing them to get any points from that cap. They're up by almost 100 points. But this game still can go either way. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left. Game number 3, 1-1 Warfare at Sea and SoA.
The longer this goes on, the more Train Leader's absence on that B cap is going to be felt as well. Kaiserzan takes a big hit from something there, and he might take a torpedo or two. No, it looks like he is able to and avoid those. But this is what's really important. They've seen something. WASA's seen
Kaiser.
something, and they're calling an advance on this C cap. This is what I was saying. The not taking advantage of the island chain to put more pressure on WASA here has allowed them to do the opposite. They've taken the map control and put a ton of pressure on this C cap here. And they've taken down the second radar cruiser as well. So look at this.
Warfare
The
taking Charlie now.
Temeraire is just going to take a beating from this Petro. Completely unaware. And they've flipped C-cap now too. This Sons of Adler is in a rough position here.
Aaron being a little cheeky with those shots. Let's get a nice little hit there. Considering, oh, and somebody smacked him. I think it's the battleship right in the middle for Warfare at Sea. Taking a really good spot for crossfires, which is what we were kind of talking about earlier. And that's Delaware, but he's very low too.
Yeah, just taking a glance at the minimap here, the battleship on the A-cap for Warfare at Sea is in a very precarious situation as well. There could there's potential there for a torpedo rush.
Down goes the beef, and then down goes J-Trank, just like that. SoA taking 2 ships right off the board for Warfare, but I don't know if this is going to be enough. We'll see. This is close.
Yeah. I mean, that helps Sons of Adler a lot. The Temeraire being able to escape with his life, getting that super heal off, makes a big difference. The problem for Sons of Adler at the moment is now the background scoring.
Toto with the Hayate might take out the Delaware. YOLOing
Yep.
the... Oh, man, he might take him out here. And he will.
Yeah.
Now he's
rough.
by himself behind Sons of Adler. No radar cruiser to contest him. He's just going to keep trying to stay unspotted. Great job from Toto.
Taking those opportunities when they're presented to them have been the difference maker in this game so far.
His ship's going to go down, but it was a great sacrifice, great trade to try to push this cap because now Tema is very low. And the Lucian's out there, and now Tema goes down.
Yeah, that was a fantastic trade. Basically get 2 battleships for the destroyer, and you force Sons of Adler to back off a lot. Very well played in this game by Sons of Adler, but I think they hesitated too much. Really, is what happened, and likely it was just due to inexperience with the map.
Decent hit from the Minnesota. I believe that's Duncan right there challenging Minnesota.
It might be. It looks like he's firing HE.
Mm-hmm.
Although the Minnesota's
He's gone.
almost definitely going to go down.
Great job from Warfare. Keeping their composure. Lucian 1v1. I think he is sonared right now and he's about to go down. And he does. Aaron with the 2nd kill. Or sorry, his first.
That game was far closer than it seemed at the end there.
Yeah.
I really think the big issues that Sons of Adler had were mostly due to inexperience with the map. And because they didn't know the map super well, they just hesitated too much. I mean, if the Sons of Adler destroyer had a perfect opportunity to do exactly what Hayate did and rush the Duncan of Cranky, and make a big impact on the A cap. You know, and if Sons of Adler is more comfortable with the map, maybe he takes that opportunity and takes that risk, and maybe the game goes a lot differently. You know,
Right.
And then again, if there's more experience with the map, you know, maybe they realize that the Temeraire needs to take more map control on the seaside with those using those islands. I think Sons of Adler had a fairly decent plan. Warfare at Sea just executed that just a little bit better.
What do you think of Temeraire on that map being like a little bit out in like more open water? Because I feel like having it that close to the island really wasn't beneficial for them. They weren't able to capitalize on anything.
I agree
really.
with you.
I think it would have been better just to have them out and then DD in. I don't think that the Delaware position was bad. They kind of mirrored Warfare at Sea in that regard.
Well, I mean, my biggest problem with the Temeraire is it's a Temeraire.
Yeah, agreed.
You know,
yeah.
It's a good ship, yeah. But in that position, I think you want something with a lot more armor, honestly, like a main.
Right.
And something that has a lot more punching power too with that AB. Yeah, again, the Temeraire has good HE characteristics. It's got decent AP, sure, but you're not going to get the same AP performance out of a Temeraire as you are a main. Or even a Delaware, honestly. I don't think Sons of Adler even brought a Delaware, did they? I think they had a Temeraire and a Minnesota, right?
Yeah, but the third battleship I thought was a Delaware.
Oh, maybe they did. Okay, you're right.
Yeah, because he was YOLO'd by the Hayate.
Yes.
Yep.
Correct.
But
Correct.
To your point, was he that effective? You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean, like because you would have known that he was in the game if he was a little bit more, I guess, productive. And I don't think it's his fault necessarily. It might have just been the strategy. But to your point, I think SoA needs to work on when to be aggressive and when to counterattack, because you can't just always be on the defensive with Warfare. You just can't. They will overwhelm you every time.
Yeah. So we're going to see Shards now.
What I'd like to see, on a side note, is for SoA DDs, as a DD main myself, to capitalize on the fact that they have a radar DD and 2 sonars. Warfare at Sea is bringing a Hayate. Yeah, it's a great gunboat, but you are going to be able to spot it with sonar and sonar trap it. I'd like to see more attempts at trying to do that, or at least keeping it away from your battleships, because it's kind of running rampant right now without any challenge. We'll see on this map though, because it's going to be really hard to get to the flanks. There's a lot of tight corners around the edges, and a lot of open water in the middle. So whoever controls the middle on this map, or in my opinion, B and C are going to be the most important.
Initially I agreed with you, but the longer this tournament has gone on, the more I've thought that the Hayate was the right pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you why. At this level, getting someone caught in that smoke sonar combo is so rare.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Especially with the Z46 that has the lower sonar. It has the improved sonar, but it's not a Lucian sonar. It's not that 4 kilometers. It's like 4.5, 4.4, something like that. The Z46 sonar is kind of mid. It's great
right.
in standard, but in this particular setting, it's not as powerful. It just isn't.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you on that. I just think that you still have that advantage to use. At least push them out of the cap or something like that.
Sure, yeah. But, they could be doing more with it, and
yeah,
they could be using it more aggressively.
Because it's not a stealth sonar like Lucian. But
yeah,
it'll be a great counter to Hayate if you use Lucian a lot more, or even Smolin to kind of get that radar out and push Hayate out, isolate it. But it's a lot easier said than done, so. They're rotating, huh? Interesting.
I'm very interested to know what kind of build Train Leader has on his Saint Louis, because he has a 13-kilometer detectability.
It's almost like a lighthouse build with that commander, that French. I don't think he's using Azur Saint Louis. Might be, actually, but there's the other commander, the Blue Archive.
The BA, the Blue Archive.
I think he might be using that one, but I could be totally wrong.
My build with Saint Louis with that commander is like barely over 11.
Okay.
So and I tend to run go all out. So when the engine boost is active, it's right around 10. So I'm really curious to know what his thought process there is in foregoing the extra concealment. 3 kilometers of concealment is a lot.
That is a lot, yeah. But it's definitely a lighthouse damage build for sure.
Oh, he blind fired the destroyer on that cap there. I do like the positioning of the Saint Louis here. It always does well on flanks in general, but putting it out here to harass the Lepanto, the Donskoy, the Smolensk, I like where they've got this set up. And even though you've got Donskoy shooting at you, Saint Louis should be able to take that fight very easily, honestly. Saint Louis is a ridiculously powerful
She is
ship.
a absolute beast. I don't know. For me, I don't like the bow in, but I get why he's like that here. Because you got island cover and you're good to go if you need to reposition.
The small end of Sons of Adler is very exposed and very hurt as well. Petro gets a hit on it. That might be a permanent fire. That could be an early destroyer kill, which would be very bad for Sons of Adler. Okay, small. It looks like, from what I can tell on Aaron's screen, the Smallland did manage to get the damage con off, so it's not a permafire. The Smallland will survive for now, but he's on very low HP, so that B cap has basically been ceded to Warfare at Sea, which is a bit of an issue. It's not the worst thing at the moment, but the longer it goes on, the more of a problem it will be.
I'm surprised Crane Leader hasn't used his reload booster yet.
Yeah, I definitely would. You've got 4 of them. I mean,
That's a fire.
to get through all of them, you basically have to use them pretty much when you have them.
Now he's on his last heal.
Yeah, I'm reconsidering my endorsement of his position here.
It would have been better if he did more damage to the Donskoy. But
well, I mean, he's not using his reload booster, which is hurting him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. You're trying to save it for the destroyer, but there comes a certain point where you just got to use it, or you're gonna lose it.
Maybe it might be like you're saying, you might be saving it for the destroyer, but there it is. Not using it. J-Tranks right now is at an advantage.
Oh, for sure.
There it is.
Alright, yeah, the reload
That's
booster
where you needed
forces J-Trank off. And that's the power of that Saint Louis. The burst, you know, the guns are very good just in general, but the burst fire potential
Another
like that
fire on Donskoy
is just ridiculous. And ooh, we've got Kaiser's End versus Aaron on the other end of the map here. Aaron's not in a... I mean, neither of these players have... I gotta imagine neither of these guys feel comfortable in this position here.
No. Nice fire from Donskoy. I think Aaron knows better too. He's like, I'm not gonna challenge him over here. He's gonna have the DPM advantage.
Yeah, if the Petro were bow in, this would be very different. But with Petro presenting his stern to the Donskoy, that really favors the Donskoy there. Even though Donskoy has a lot less armor.
Chat's saying that the Saint Louis might be agile build instead of the concealment mod, but I'm not sure if it's gonna give
which okay, I mean, sure, but if you're an agile mod, if you're a prop mod, you know, an agile build, why are you putting this in a stationary position?
By the island, right? Same thing with like Brindisi, stuff like that. You want to be out in the open, kind of drawing fire.
Sons of Adler have finally flipped some caps here. And this is really important because now yeah, they're down on points right now, but they're up 2 caps to 1. If they can continue to control these caps and start scoring...
Down goes a battleship.
Ooh, yep, that's gonna hurt.
And now Kaiser's gonna get hit with almost every one of those torpedoes, and Aaron's gonna clean this one up.
Yeah, wow, that was rough.
There's a permafire, I believe.
Sons of Adler really on the back foot here.
Nice job from
Now
Aaron.
Warfare at Sea have started contesting all these other 2 caps. In the meantime, they're continuing to score on the B cap. Kaiser's End does go down.
There goes Lucian.
The deficit goes even further.
The Lucian Hayate challenge that I was kind of talking about earlier. Let's see if they're going to be able to take advantage of this. Hayate is going to have to turn away from that. And down goes C-46, yet another ship for SoA. It's looking like another dub for Warfare, but we'll see if these guys can capitalize. Now J-Trank has Train Leader Broadside, but he has HE loaded. I'm gonna say, man, Warfare at Sea doing a great job of keeping Train Leader in this corner. And a lot of it has to do with the battleship, and I think it's the Lepanto? Unless I'm wrong, but...
Lepanto, yes, is over here.
Okay.
Yep.
And there he is. He's gonna take a massive hit from Feel My Flame, who's incredible with battleships. Oh! I'm sorry, man. I jinxed him. That was a massive hit. But also, St. Louis is just not tanky at all.
It only takes 1 or 2 shells.
Oh man. And they're gonna lose another DD at Alpha. I believe Aaron's gonna get this one. Oh, he misses the shells. But it looks like he's gonna clean it up here, and he does. Jocko going down.
I think I have to give this one to the WASA cruiser players, really.
Oh, 1000%.
The Train Leader did an excellent job in Game 1, but he was kind of nowhere to be seen in the other maps. And Aaron and J-Trank being able to just really very effectively use their DPM have made a big difference.
Focus fire from Warfare at Sea on that DD to clean up Bravo. Nopper's trying to stay alive to 2v8. 3.5 minutes left in round number 4, and looks like we're not going to see Crash Zone. Great shot from Cranky. Nice hit from Delaware. Warfare at Sea, excellent comms. You can tell by the way that they were playing. Calm and collective, methodical, and I think that Aaron's going to get the kill on Petro, and he does.
Yeah, that Warfare at Sea are so good at recognizing those cracks in the armor there. You know, the instant that they had the slightest advantage, in both this game and the last game, they really took the helm and punished Sons of Adler hard for it.
Nice job from Cranky. Great job from Warfare at Sea. Dominating 3 games in a row after their first loss. Or their game 1 loss, excuse me, against SoA. SoA not able to capitalize on that 1-0 advantage. But great job from Warfare, just playing better in all 3 of those matches. Or maps, excuse me.
GG's. SoA GG's. You guys played excellently. Excellently. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys will hear my audio. It's delayed, but let's go!
So,
Yes!
let's
GG's,
take a look
GG's.
here.
A lot of fun.
Hull
Really
Crushers
first game they had us
took the
outpositioned.
win against
A lot of fun,
Payne's
a lot of
Armada. Or Payne's Killers, was it? I can never keep those 2 straight.
Yeah, Painkillers, yep.
And so next week we're gonna see Hull Crushers versus Warfare at Sea. I'm very excited about it. Hull Crushers, another dark horse. They have been world beaters, honestly, and are really beating up on some of these fleets that we did not expect. So
yeah, definitely representing the I guess North America / South America side of the division. So they're the champions on basically the Western Hemisphere, going against the champions of the Eastern Hemisphere. So it's going to be a very exciting matchup next week. We'll see. I mean, we thought that this match was going to be a little closer, but like I said, that's totally on Warfare at Sea just playing better in every situation that we could. Anytime we changed POVs, they were just dominating the cap. And even when they lost the cap, they just kept on with it. Whatever strategy they were using worked every single time, and they were just able to kind of stay focused despite maybe losing a ship here and there. But just great job. You know, SoA winning that first match, they did a great job in that match, dominating, and we thought that it was going to be a back and forth, with Warfare winning Haven, that's game 2. But then when we saw Mountain Rage the way that went, then Warfare at Sea went up 2-1, we were like, oh, we'll see, what happens. But that same plan that they had on Mountain Rage, they did the same thing on that last map, and they were able to kind of just continue to press SoA without really much of a whole lot of contesting. So just a great job.
Yeah. I think that is probably going to do it for me. I believe there were some interviews on some of these other channels, but I unfortunately do not have time to stick around for those.
Final bosses with Highfound, so I think they're going to go over to him anyway. So
yeah. So thanks, Angel, for joining.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fun as always, and we will see you guys later.
All right, we'll see you next week, man. It's a great job from both teams showing up today and kicking butt. I really don't have a whole lot to say other than the fact that I think overall the cruisers for Warfare and really all 3 ship classes played better for Warfare. The cruisers overall played better it just favored Warfare the entire time. Obviously that game 1, SoA had a better strategy. But I think the next 3 games after where Warfare dominated, I think you just saw that there was a massive either disconnect between SoA and their strategy that they want to implement, or just a better plan Warfare had coming into those games. So congratulations to Warfare at Sea making it to the finals yet again for the 3rd Ocean Cup in a row. They've won the last 2. I believe the first Ocean Cup was won by the Wolfpack, if I remember correctly. But GG's to both teams. Congratulations. Next week is going to be Hull Crushers against Warfare at Sea. This is going to be massive. And both teams amongst themselves have amazing chemistry. By the way, congratulations to SoA making it to the finals here. I think this is their first Ocean Cup. Not their first tournament, but their first Ocean Cup. Congratulations making it to the semifinals. Beating out a lot of really good teams. So just hope to see you guys in the next tournament. If you guys want to take a break and you know, wait for the next Ocean Cup, you know, I totally would understand 100%, especially with the fact that you guys have done tournaments in Germany all throughout this entire year and been very successful. So congratulations, SOA, Kaiser, Train Leader. Much love to y'all. GG's. Aaron, congratulations, brother. Helping Warfare get to the top there. And we will check you guys on the next one, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.